bad things have happened. Very bad things. There was an ice storm last night. My girlfriend woke up at 2:30 in the morning to a loud crack and then a bang. Woke me up, said, what the hell was that? Didn't see anything on the road. Didn't really think much of it. Was going back to bed and I felt a loud gust of wind hit the house, and then I went to look at the roof of the garage and a 30+ foot tree fell and wants to take the whole garage out. I mean, it's really bad. So that's great. The other side of the tree is back there. There's like 12 inches of snow. I'm about to leave, so I'll show you a video of that tomorrow. I mean, I don't, at this point, I don't know. We're waiting on the insurance adjuster. It looks like it's going to topple over on the top half. No damage to the cars underneath outside of some water dripping. I mean, little damage to the truck. Has 5,000 miles on it, so that sucks. But it could be worse, I guess. Cars could be damaged, could be wrecked. Could have just collapsed the whole thing, which is a concern at this point because we're supposed to get another like 8 inches of snow on Thursday, and that added weight could just be brutal. See how bad the water is. A woodpecker. I don't know if you guys could see him. It's a good luck buddy. Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of water at this point. This whole puddle wasn't here yesterday or this morning, I mean, so it's just dripping right from these drains. Or from these heat routes. Some stuff fell on the wall. I mean, hey, it happens. This beam seems pretty solid, so I don't think we'll have any additional issues. You can see that's a branch. That's one joist that's broke. That's two joists. That's a piece of plywood. That wall is trying to bow out. This wall is like this, where it should be, you know, straight up and down. And then I'll go up a little bit. If I die, this is for the YouTube. You can see all the daylight through that wall where the vents would be. That's all going this way. So, you know, not good. Have a guy, like I said, coming to cut the tree off at 8:30 in the morning. Hopefully relieve some of that weight. There's actually two branches of the tree now that I look at it. I didn't notice that first branch, but if I'm a betting man, there's some water right there. Water all in the center section. Doesn't look like any damage on this side, at least visibly. If I'm a betting man, this whole thing is going to have to be replaced. This whole, you know, second floor of the roof. I mean, you could probably salvage a lot of this, but I would assume it'd be easier just to replace the whole thing. You can see the center of the A-frame. It's straight, but it's not straight all the way through. Not true. Well, it's not true either. So, life sucks. Could have been worse. Like I said, no one got hurt. Cars are good. That thing will move, so if I get the okay to open and, you know, I don't know if that door works now. I have no idea. I don't know if it's safe to even open it, but if we can get this one out, that'll be fairly easy. All this stuff is pretty strong, industrial made. That red box has been through a fire anyway, so, well, two technically. This clearly is a roller, but transmissions would make it a little pain in the ass. I would probably have to remove it. So we'll see. We're gonna document everything here. Kind of still processing everything. I'm pretty sad. I'll show you the big tree tomorrow. This big branch was on there. When we got my truck out of the way, which was parked there, we just, you know, pulled the thing right off with our hands. And that's got to be 12 to 18 feet right there, and there's probably another 16 on the backside. So, all right, till tomorrow. come along setup goes from that tree. You can see it right there. And then straight down, anchored off of that tree. That's where the come along is, and they douche and pull it. This is how you go viral.
You recording this?
Yeah, just in case.
They're in Florida, right?
It depends on how far he falls. Yeah, they're in Florida till March or so, I think. Or April or May, I don't know. He's got the life.
My wife's.
See you later, tree. All right, guys. It's Thursday, third day after the incident. Working with the adjuster and the contractor to get everything wrapped up. Now that it's relatively safe to be in here, the tree's off, a lot of the heavy snow's off, etc. So I'll just walk through some of the carnage. So you can see this knee wall is bent that way, really bad. So I think they could save it. The way I read the estimate, it's being considered to be saved as well as this one. And then these collar ties, a lot of them are busted. So like you can see that one's moved, that one's moved all the way. That one's completely detached. That one's completely detached. All the way down, and you can see how slanted they are. So what happened was the tree, when it fell and hit here, pushed everything this way. So this entire structure is going to be removed and replaced, which actually kind of works out for me because I got this bar downstairs I want to get up here, and I really didn't know how I was going to get it up here, so I'm going to have to work something out to get it up here, but we'll figure that out when we get to it. I've never seen, first of all, I've never had a shovel inside a structure before, so that'll be interesting. Got to do that. That's the biggest hole. That's like 16 inches. I'm going to put a garbage can under that for now. We're going to save this puppy framer. That's, 3 feet of log that was in here. And then this one too went right through up there. So that's one hole. There's a small hole right there. I think there's 3 would be straight through. So 4 total from my knowledge. Oh, there's a 5th. This is where it's like really bad. This is where the length of the tree was. I mean, this 2x6 is just snapped. This 2x6 is snapped. That one. Those cable ties. So, I mean, I've never seen wood. I haven't actually been this far over yet. I haven't seen wood ever bend like that where it hasn't cracked. So that's obviously a lot of stress. All this whole gable wall needs to be redone. Hopefully I'll have an estimate from the contractor today. Right now I'm just going to, we're supposed to get like 5 to 8 inches of snow. So I'm just going to take a garbage can I have, shovel that into it, and then same thing. Probably get this downstairs. So fucking wild, man. Like just for reference, this light was hanging up over there and it just moved it that much. So it sucks, but we're covered. We're gonna get it replaced. Got to get at least one car out. I don't know if we'll move both, but I'm gonna take this down now and go from there. Snow mitigation 2021. Got to do what you got to do to survive. Help me understand. All right, a few days later, as you all are well aware by now, the garage has taken some damage from a tree, but we're still gonna get back at it. We gotta get this car back running. So I'm not gonna do too much today, drain the oil, get the valve covers off, but wanted to give you a quick peek into what makes an 86, 87 turbo motor special and some things to look for. So for starters, casting number is down here. Right there it says 255-26109. So the 109 is the important piece. It's a 109 block LC2. It actually isn't different from a naturally aspirated block, believe it or not. So all blocks for 86, 87, this was the culmination of the strongest V6. The 3.8 is a great motor, naturally aspirated or obviously in turbo orientation, but there isn't really a difference between a naturally aspirated block and a turbo V6 block, other than there's some, from an oil passage standpoint, there's some larger diameter internal passages, but there's also, if you could see it, I don't know exactly where it is. It should be right there. That is a oil passage specific for the turbo. That's drilled out on a turbo block as opposed to a V6 naturally aspirated block. However, these things did get special headers, as you can see from the factory. These are prone to cracking. I don't think this one's cracked, but I have to double check it at some point. The VIN number to match the car is right here. So this is the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last 9 digits, which does match if you look at 966 right there. Happy Saturday. Good morning. Hello. Welcome to Teardown Day. We have parts. We're not going to assemble it today, but we're going to get it torn down, cleaned up, show you some things. Last video, we walked through what makes this engine unique, I guess, although it's not super unique. It's pretty fundamental and basic in terms of what they do, but been hitting at some power upgrades that we're going to do, which as I walk through them, you're probably going to get mad because technically we're doing things smaller but more efficient because this main issue with this car, this turbo is too big. Nothing else was matched to this turbo. We'll walk you through everything here. Some of the basic stuff, we got two different rear mains, a rope seal and a neoprene. Not sure which goes to the car. We'll find out when we take it out. Two different timing cover gaskets as well. I don't know why, but I didn't order this stuff. Oil pan gasket, valve cover gasket, coolant temperature sensors because I broke them. We'll start with this box. Actually, we'll start with this box. All right, I had to open the one box. It was just going to be impossible otherwise. Anyway, I don't know what actually I have no idea what the millimeter specs are. They're just too big. That's it. That's all I could say. Here's the stock turbo. As you can see, dimensionally, it's much smaller. A little bit different setup. It's Garrett on both sides. That's who made the original one. That is Precision Turbo Engineering. We got bigger, smaller turbo, more efficient, will spool quicker. We have brand new Siemens Deca 60-pound injectors that have never been run. So these are pretty substantial in terms of the stock injectors and how much these will put out fuel pressure. However, some guys would like to run smaller with the stock setup or mostly stock setup. These will work just fine because the brain, bad video, and I'm still getting used to this stuff. So these parts are all from Turbo Tweak. Everything in here is brand new. We have a Walbro fuel pump that is rebranded as Turbo Tweak. It's a 255 liters per hour fuel pump. Much more substantial in terms of what's in there currently. It is the stock setup. These are in-tank fuel pumps, excuse me. The big issue with these cars from the factory, they didn't get enough voltage to their fuel pumps to support the power. So it was always like, I'm not going to say you were running lean, they were tuned to run correctly, but you weren't maximizing performance because you were not running enough fuel. So this is a fuel pump hot wire kit. It's made by a number of vendors. This one came from Turbo Tweak. It's Casper's Electronics brand. But this is literally a ready-to-run harness that runs straight from a fuel pump all the way to the car. It's got built-in relays. It's going to get a true 13 volts to this pump, which is needed. So, with that being said, the most fun part of this entire build is this piece of jewelry right here. Again, Eric at Turbo Tweak, he's like the go-to in terms of your chips, and this isn't an LS engine, right? We can't just plug a laptop into it and tune on the fly. I mean, there is tunability in it, but this is the 80s technology, the 80s version. It's a new brain, new chip brain, built especially for this car, custom. So what you do is, oh, something just fell into the hot wire. This chip, there's a trap door right here. That's the stock chip. So that's the ACXA. I think I already did a video on this puppy. But this chip, which I'm not supposed to put on carpet, so I hope that didn't just screw it up. This chip, get out my invoice. Eric has a whole survey that you fill out online here. I have to bleep out my address and my credit card information. So, plug in what it's intended for. There's going to be a street car, no track most likely. Plug in what your fuel injectors are going to be, what type of fuel you're going to run in it, what your intercooler setup, your torque converter, heads, cam, what your computer reads out miles per hour wise, if you have an alcohol injection system, blah, 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 intended boost. So you could tell them to preset the boost. We don't want to do anything crazy. We're just going to run 16 pounds. And we have the hot wire and the upgraded fuel pump. For $100, can't beat it. It is literally, oh, sorry, that's the other thing. This was $120. So with all this goodness, we're going to make this thing run a lot better. I'm going to get everything stripped off today. Valve covers, front assembly. Have my baggies. We'll get the oil pan off. We'll eventually flip this motor over. I'm not doing that now. It'll have to be primed again, get the oil back into the lifters and get them pumped up. But I already took that valve cover off on this side. Everything looks really clean in here. Let me see if I can just pull it off. I mean, it is nice and clean. It's got the gaskets obviously need to be scraped off, but like this motor runs good. So we'll start working on it, do a little time lapse, and go from there. All right. Old, new turbo's off. New, old turbo. We'll be going back on. You can just see the difference. Look at that. The exhaust wheels are totally different. The pitch on these blades is crazy. Not sure if we're going to sell this yet or keep it. I really don't have a use for it, but you never know down the line. Another car comes along. Crazy different. All right, fully disassembled. Problem with these timing chains, these nylon gears, they go really quickly. This one's actually in pretty good shape. Doesn't mean it wouldn't fall apart soon, but that's a good amount of slop. So double roller timing chain will replace this. Get rid of this tensioner. Be nice and locked and loaded. Really clean underneath overall. Nothing was crazy in the oil pan under the baffle. Up here at the top of the valve train, everything looks really good. Overall, pretty happy. Does this happen to other people? I just sat down, getting ready to pull this off, clean the timing cover. And I wasn't gonna video it, but I mean, now I feel like I have to because I'm letting in on some secrets here. What I meant by cleaning the timing cover, I'm all thrown off. Clean the valve covers. Used Quad Zero steel wool, some simple green. Clean the timing cover off as best I could. Some of the original paint you could see. I think these were poorly painted from the factory. Not exactly sure. But go to sit down, clean the front of the timing cover off, and that happens. Kicked it with my work boot. This is from TA Performance. It is their 1522 silent roller timing chain gear set. It's pretty much a stock replacement timing chain, but the difference is this gear is billet, so it'll never wear down. If you can see, the thickness is pretty much the same here. So in the Turbo Buick community, if you run a double roller timing chain, which is a pretty popular upgrade, you have to eliminate the stock timing chain tensioner. It'll eat it, and then it'll be in your oil pan, and then it'll be in your oil pickup, and then you'll lose oil pressure, and then you'll blow your motor up. So that sucks. Don't do that. But since it's a stock style replacement, TA does recommend running the stock chain tensioner, which I have a new one right here. We have a new cam button. This is the GM actually replaced these in the like 88, 89. The stock cam button has nothing to roll against, so it just starts digging into your timing cover. This is a pretty significant groove, but we should be all right using this stock roller replacement. Some guys do grind this down, but otherwise it'll just kind of wear in. Be fine. I think that's it. This is also key in 9 different ways. If you want to advance or retard your timing, we're just going to line it up right on 0. If you could see that, I don't know, it should be right there, I believe. So start putting it back together, clean up the gasket surface, go from there.